Hey guys, I'm T and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, make trendy and fun crochet tutorials twice a week, and if you haven't already, smash that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe to join in on the fun. Here's a super comfy turtleneck. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, I haven't made a turtleneck in forever, but turtleneck season is upon us and I couldn't be happier. This sweater's turtleneck is especially luscious and I love all the texture that Alpine adds without making it too bulky. What designs are you guys excited for this season? Let me know in the comments below. I've got a few I'm excited to try, and one in particular I'm dying to make, but I can't tell you about that just yet. But get subscribed so you don't miss out. Now, onward to the video. So without further ado, for this project, any category 3 yarn will work, but I used a half a skein of baby Burnett sport yarn in baby gray and lilac bouquet. As for tools, a 9mm hook, scissors, stitch markers, and a tape measure. There's a written pattern down below. Use offer code TCDDIY for a discount off any $9.99 plus order. Watch to the end of the video to learn how to enter this week's giveaway. We're using 4 stitches for this project and they will be as follows: chain, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. This tutorial is for a size small, but you can adjust it for your size and we explain how to in the video, so let's get started. Getting this top started, we're first going to grab our category 3 yarn and make a slip knot. Next, we're going to grab our 9mm hook and start off by making a chain that goes from mid-underarm to mid-underarm. It does need to end on an even number, so I'm going to start off by making a chain of 44, or that's 15 inches or 38 centimeters. Now that we have our chain, we're going to block off that last chain, do a chain above 2, that counts as a half double crochet, and then into the chain that we blocked off, or the third chain from our hook, we're going to go in with a decrease of 2 half double crochets. So we're going to prepare for half double crochet. Insert your hook into that chain that we blocked off. We're going to yarn over, pull through. From there, we're going to insert our hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through. We should have 1, 2, 3, and 4 loops on our hook. From here, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And that is our decrease of 2 half double crochets. From here, we're going to make our way down our chain, putting 1 half double into every chain, leaving the last 2 because we're going to do 1 more decrease together. And now that we've made our way down, we should have just 2 chains left, and we're going to go in with another decrease together. So we're going to prepare for a half double crochet. Insert your hook into that second to last chain, and also into that last chain. We're going to yarn over, pull through that 1. We should have 1, 2, 3, and 4 loops on our hook. So yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. From here, we're going to do chain up of 2. That counts as a half double crochet. We will flip our work and we are going to start and end each of these rows with a decrease of 2 back loop half doubles. So let's get the first one started. Prepare for a half double crochet. Insert your hook into that first back loop. Pull through into that next back loop. Pull through. We should have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over. Pull through all 4. Put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch, leaving the last 2. And then put a decrease into those last 2 back loops as well. And we're going to maintain decreasing along the edges of our work until this portion reaches the front of our body on both ends, and then I'll meet you guys back. Alright, so I am back and I now have a piece that reaches from mid-underarm that wraps around to the front of my body. I have 7 rows and that's 4 inches or 10 centimeters in height, and from here we're going to work our way up, putting 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch until this reaches the base of our neck. So no increases, no decreases. We're all going to start off by doing a chain up of 2, flip our work. Put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch, chain up of 2, flip our work, 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch. I'll meet you guys back once we have the height that we need. Alright, so since the last time I saw you guys, I've added just 1 row of our back loop half double crochets with nothing fancy in it. So I now have a total of 8 rows, and that's 5 inches or 13 centimeters. We're now going to work on our shoulder portions, and they're going to be done one at a time. So we're first going to insert our stitch markers into the 2 middle stitches that we have, and then we're also going to go 1 over in both directions. So we should have 4 stitches blocked off. And this is going to help us get our curve later. But once we have all of that blocked off, we're going to do a chain up of 2, put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch until we have just 2 stitches right before our stitch marker, because we're going to need to decrease. So do a chain up of 2, flip our work, and I'll meet you guys back when we have just 2 stitches left. All right, so now that we have made our way down, we should have 2 stitches left right before our first stitch marker, and we're going to do a decrease. So prepare for a half double crochet, insert into that second to last back loop, pull through, and also into that last back loop, pull through. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. We're going to do a chain up of 2, flip our work, and then start off this row by doing a decrease since we are along the inside of our work. So prepare for a half double crochet. Insert into that first back loop, pull through, next back loop, pull through, yarn over, pull through 4, and put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch till we make it down to the end. And we're going to be putting a decrease of 2 back loop half double crochets along the inside of our piece, going all the way up while keeping this side blunt until we hit the top of our shoulder. We're going to do a chain up of 1 and cut. Then I'll meet you guys back so that we can do this other side together. All right, so I am back and I have just finished up going in with my shoulder portion. I ended up having a total of 4 rows, and what we're going to do from here is basically the same thing. We're just going to insert our hook into a different spot because we want the ribbing to still match up. So let's just get that started. So what I just did is I flipped my work over so that now the shoulder that I have is on the right, and all we're going to do is insert our hook into the back loop that we have on the other side of this stitch marker. We aren't going to insert our hook into the outside because we want it to seem like we were going in the same direction as if we didn't do a chain up of 1 and cut. So all I'm going to do is insert my hook, insert my yarn onto my hook, pull through, and I'm going to do a chain up of 2. This counts as my first half double crochet. And then from here, I'm going to start my decreases since I'm along the inside of my work. So let's just do the first one. I'm going to insert, pull through, insert, pull through, yarn over, and pull through all 4. And then from here, put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch, do a chain up of 2, flip our work, and put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch while maintaining the decrease into the last 2 stitches since it'll be along the inside. And keep going until we have the same amount of rows as this side, and then I'll meet you guys back. All right, so we are back, and we now have our front panel all finished, and now we're going to work on the back. And it's actually going to start off exactly the same way. So do the same chains that we started off with, and then we are still going to be decreasing into the edge stitches all the way up for the same amount of rows. And then I'll meet you guys back once we have that, so I can talk you guys through doing the upper back portion. All right, so now that I have my same amount of decrease rows as my front, I'm now going to go in with just rows of back loop half double crochets, making our way up. We're not going to do a big neck hole like how we did here, so we're just going to go in with the same amount of rows minus just 1, because we're going to do just a tiny little neck scoop along the back. So just as an example, I ended up having 12 rows, so I'll meet you guys back when I have 11 so that we can do our little shoulder scoop together along the back. All right, so my back piece is nearly finished. We have just 1 more row to go until it matches the same amount of rows as we have for the front panel. So from here, we're just going to do a little shoulder in the back. So go ahead and count out the same amount of stitches that we had for our last row for the front panel. Mine was 9, and then insert your stitch marker into that stitch. Go ahead and do it on the other side. And then from there, we're just going to go in with a row of back loop half double crochets until we hit our stitch marker. And then for the other side, once we do a chain up of 1 and cut, we're going to insert our hook into this stitch marker stitch, inserting it into the back loop, put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch, making our way down this way, and then I'll meet you guys back so that we can seam up the shoulders. All right, so I've just finished up going in with my back panel shoulder portion, and now we can connect the front and the back panels together. We're going to be inserting our hook into the corner stitches of the front and the back panel. We're going to insert our yarn onto our hook and pull through. From there, we're going to do a chain up of 1, and then we're going to be single crocheting the front and the back panel together. So into the next available stitch into the front panel, insert your hook, into the next available stitch into the back panel, insert your hook, and then single crochet them together. we're going to keep doing this going down until we don't have any more stitches left. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll meet you guys back. All right, so we now have the top portion of our sweater all finished. We can now go in with connecting our underarms together and finish up with the length. So just so that we can get started with this next portion, we're going to make sure that our work is flipped right side out, meaning that our seams are along the inside. We're going to grab our yarn, which I will be switching out my colors, and then we're going to be single crocheting across and connecting our underarms at the same time. So just for video's sake, I will be inserting my hook into a stitch that's within my back panel. That's also near where the points are, because I'm going to show you guys how we're going to connect the front piece to the back piece, but you guys can insert your hook into any one of the stitches. Doesn't matter. But I will be inserting my yarn onto my hook. I'm going to pull through, do a chain up of 1. And then from here, we're going to single crochet until we get to the last stitch in whatever panel we're working into. Once we reach that stitch, all we're going to do to connect the two panels is do a chain up of 1 in between, and then we're just going to single crochet into the corner stitch that we have on the other side. So insert your hook and then single crochet. And that's it. Put 1 single crochet into every stitch, making our way across. Don't forget to do a chain up of 1 in between our two panels and single crochet into the back, and then I'll meet you guys back. All right, and now that we have made our way around with our first single crochet row, we are now going to go in with a row of double crochets because we're kind of prepping for our alpine. I did already do a slip stitch into that chain up of 1 space when we started off this section. So all I'm going to do is do a chain up of 1, 2, 3. That counts as a double crochet. From here, we are going to be flipping our work, and we're going to go in putting just 1 double crochet into every stitch. So we're going to prepare for a double crochet, and then into the next available stitch, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is our double. Go ahead and put 1 double crochet into every stitch, slip stitch into that 3rd chain that we made for ourselves when we started off this row, and then I'll meet you guys back. All right, so we have just made our way around with our row of double crochets. We have just 1 more row to do before we get started with the actual alpine stitch, and that's just going to be another row of single crochets. So we're going to do a chain up of 1. We will flip our work and put 1 single crochet into every stitch. All right, so for this next section, we should have a single, a double, and another single crochet row. Now we're going to get started with our actual alpine section. So from where we're at, we're going to start off by doing a chain up of 2. Once we have our chain up of 2, we're going to first work a front post double crochet. So we're going to prepare for a double crochet, and we're going to skip the chain up of 3 that we did in the previous double crochet row. Then we're going to go into that next double crochet that we have right here. So we're going to insert our hook behind that double crochet, and we're going to yarn over, pull through. Once we have 3 loops on our hook, we're going to yank up just a little bit so that we'll have the same height as a double crochet that we're going to go into. Once we have that, we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is our first front post double crochet. From here, we're going to work a regular double crochet into the next stitch, but we want to make sure that we're skipping 1 stitch along the back because this front post double crochet counts as that stitch. If we go into that stitch, we'll actually be increasing, which is not what we want, so we're going to make sure we're skipping it. So what we're going to do is prepare for a double crochet, skip that 1 stitch in the back, and then into the next stitch, we're going to put 1 regular double crochet. Let's do the next set together. We're going to prepare for another double crochet. We're going to go in with another front post double, but we're going to be skipping this double crochet because this double crochet is directly on top of that one. Insert our hook behind that next double crochet and bring it through the other side. We're going to yarn over, pull through, yank up just a little bit, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then just to finish this off, we're going to prepare for double crochet, skip the next stitch in the previous row, and then insert your hook into the stitch right after that with a regular double crochet. And we're going to be repeating this going all the way down. Go ahead and slip stitch into that second chain that we made when we started off this row, and then I'll meet you guys back. Alright, so we have just made our way around with our first Alpine stitch section, and our Alpine, just as a refresher, is a front post double, regular double, front post double, regular double, and in between those rows is going to be one single crochet row. So from here I did do a slip stitch. I'm going to do a chain up of one, flip my work, put one single crochet into every stitch, and then I'll meet you guys back so we can get started on our second Alpine row. Alright, so our single crochet row is all finished, and now all we're going to do is get started on our next Alpine stitch row. So it's going to be pretty much the same thing, but we want our front post double crochets to be staggered. So we're just going to start off with a double crochet instead of starting off with a front post double crochet like our previous row. So once we get here, we're going to start off by doing a chain up of two. And taking a look at our work, this is my first front post double crochet. So just into that regular stitch, I'm going to go in with a double. So into that first stitch, pull through two, pull through two. Once when I have that, into this regular double crochet that I have in the previous Alpine stitch row, that is where I'm going to be inserting my hook for my front post double crochet. So prepare for a double crochet. Insert our hook underneath that next double crochet, pull through two, and pull through two. From here, we're going to prepare for a double crochet, skip one stitch into the previous single crochet row, and then insert your double crochet into that next stitch. And then we're just going to do one more front post double crochet for the sake of it. We're going to prepare for a double into the next regular double crochet, pull through, yank up just a bit, pull through two, and pull through two. And we're going to be repeating this row until we have the amount of rows that we want for our Alpine stitch section. So it's going to be an Alpine row, single crochet, Alpine row, single crochet. We just want to remember to keep our front post double crochets staggered to get that textured look that we want. Then I'll meet you guys back just to let you guys know how many rows I end up having. Alright guys, so I am back with my Alpine stitch section, and just to let you guys know, I ended up having a total of 9 rows in total. And from here I will be switching out for my primary color and we'll be going in with back loop half double crochets again. And from here I'm actually just going to let you guys have at the rest on your own because there's not going to be any increasing or decreasing. It's just going to be a straight shot down so you guys can switch out your stitches, switch out your colors, whatever you guys want, and whatever cadence you guys desire. So go ahead and do whatever you guys want, and I will meet you back. Alright, so I am back and I am all done with my body portion. I have a total of 4 different sections, and starting with my Alpine section going down, they're each roughly about 3 inches or 8 centimeters each. And now that we have that, we're ready to go in with our bottom band. So I will be switching back out for my primary color. And this first row is going to be pretty easy. We're just going to insert our hook into any one of the stitches and put one single crochet into each of the stitches. Go ahead and slip stitch into the chain up of one space. That'll meet you guys back so we can go in with the length of our band. So now that we have single crocheted around the entirety of our piece, we can now go in with the length of our bottom band. So I want my bottom band to be about 6 inches or 15 centimeters. So I'm going to start off by making a chain of 17. Now that we have our chain, we're going to block off our last chain and do a chain up of 1. Into that chain that we blocked off, or the second chain from our hook, we're going to go in with a single crochet. And from here, we're going to put one single crochet into every chain, making our way down towards our base. Now that we've single crocheted all the way down our chain, we're now going to slip stitch into the next available stitch that we have at the bottom. So into this next available stitch, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, and pull through everything. And that is how we close off our first single crochet row. And in order to work our way up to the next row, all we're going to do is slip stitch into the next available stitch and flip our work. From here, we're going to go in with back loop single crochets, making our way down. So let's do the first one together. Into this first back loop, you guys are going to insert your hook and single crochet, if it will let us. And we're going to make our way all the way down, putting one back loop single crochet into every stitch, do a chain up of 1 when we get to the end, flip our work, and back loop single crochet back, and then connect it into the base the same way that we just did. And I'll meet you guys back when we don't have any more stitches left so that we can seam it up together. Alright, so I have just made my way all the way around with my bottom border, and what we're going to do from here is seam it up. We just want to make sure that our seams are all facing the same direction, so go ahead and flip your work wrong side out. But from here, we're going to be inserting our hook into the corner stitch of the front panel, mine is in the working yarn, and into the corner stitch of the back panel. From here, we're going to yarn over, and pull through everything. And then from here, we're going to single crochet going in through the front and the back panel at the same time. So into the first stitch into the front panel, into the first stitch into the back panel, and single crochet. And we're going to keep doing this going all the way down. When we don't have any more stitches left, do a chain up of 1 and cut. All right, guys, we have just finished up going in with our bottom band, and now we're going to go in with our sleeve and my second sleeve. So the first thing we're going to do is go in with a row of single crochet along the edge of our armhole. So how we're going to get started with our first single crochet row is by going in with a decrease that's going to help connect this side of our armhole to this side. So what we're going to do is find this first side half double crochet along the bottom, insert your hook, insert your yarn onto your hook, and pull through. And then we did have that chain up of 1 that we did right in between the front and the back panel. We're going to insert our hook into there, yarn over, pull through that loop, and then also find the first half double crochet along the other side, insert your hook into there. From here, we're going to yarn over, pull through. We should have 3 loops on our hook, so we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and that's just going to help us keep this nice and snug. And once we have that, we're going to single crochet going all the way around. So we're going to be alternating between 1 to 2 single crochet into every other side half double crochet row. So let's do the first set together. This is my first side half double crochet. I'm going to insert my hook into there and go in with just 1 single crochet. And moving a row up, this is my next side half double. I'm going to go into there with 2 single crochet. There's 1 into that same gap, our second single crochet. And then we're going to keep alternating just like that, making our way all the way around. And we're going to slip stitch into this first stitch that we made for ourselves, and then I'll meet you guys back. So now that we've made our way around with our first single crochet row, what we're going to do from here is do a chain up of 1 and flip our work. And from here, for the next few rows, we're actually going to go in with single crochets to half doubles to doubles, making our way around to half doubles to singles. And this part is going to be completely up to you guys. You guys can eyeball it or take my numbers and just kind of use that as to whatever you guys may need it for. But what we're going to do is go in with smaller stitches along the bottom, making sure that it get bigger along the top so it can help us have a nice spillover over our shoulder so that our sleeve can eventually become horizontal, and then we can continue on with this pattern that we have going down the body of our work. So I'll give you guys my numbers, but you guys can adjust it from there. But what we're first going to do is start off by doing a decrease of 2 single crochets. So now that our work is flipped, we're going to insert our hook into that first back loop, pull through, and also into that next back loop, pull through. We should have 3 loops on our hook. From here, we're going to yarn over, pull through all 3. And then for my numbers, from here, I'm going to go in with an additional 5 back loop single crochets. Now that I have my 5 back loop single crochets, I'm going to switch out to back loop half doubles. I'm going to go in with just 3 of those. And then when I have that, I'm going to go in with back loop double crochets, making my way all the way around. We just want to make sure that we have the same amount as half double crochets and single crochets along this side, just to make sure that everything is even. So go ahead and count yours out and stitch marker them off, just so you guys know where you're going to be switching out your stitches. But if you guys are going in with me, I'm going in with 18 back loop double crochets. All right, so we are back and we have just finished up going in with our double crochets. And from here, we're going to switch out for our half double crochets and our back loop single crochets, remembering to decrease into the last 2, just like how we decrease into the first 2 single crochets. And now that we have that pattern down, we're actually going to be repeating this row where we do a decrease of 2 back loop single crochets into the first 2 and the last 2 stitches, our half double crochets and our double crochets that go up and over, and then repeat the same thing down on the other side. A really quick tip that I have for you guys is that we will keep the same amount of stitches for our single crochets and our half double crochets. So moving forward with our rows, the decreases will come from our double crochet section. But other than that, keep repeating this until it gets nice and snug around your arm. And when that happens, keep the same numbers and same stitches. Just don't do any more decreases. And then I'll meet you guys back when our work becomes completely horizontal. And make sure it doesn't go past the Alpine detail, because that's where we want everything to match. Alrighty, I now have the start of my sleeve all finished up, and it has made its way to be completely horizontal when it's on. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but we're now ready to get started with our Alpine section. But really quickly, including my first single crochet row, I had a total of 8 rows of decreases and then 1 row of none. So right here, I have a total of 9 rows. And from here, I'm just going to let you guys have at it since we're not going to do any increases or decreases. We're just going to switch out our colors and our stitches wherever necessary. And I will meet you guys back when we're ready to start working on our cuff. All right, so I am back with the entirety of my sleeve. I have the same amount of rows and same amount of sections as my body panel because I wanted everything to match up. And now we're ready to go in with the cuff. And my cuff is going to be the same length as my bottom band, but instead of back loop singles, we're going to be going in with back loop doubles. So let's get that started. I'm first going to insert my hook into any one of these stitches with my cuff color, which is my primary color. So I'm going to insert my hook into any one of these stitches, pull through, and start off by putting 1 single crochet into every stitch and slip stitch into this chain up of 1. All right, so now that I have single crocheted all the way around the bottom of my sleeve, I'm now going to go in with the length of my cuff. And just like my bottom band, it's going to be a total of 6 inches or 15 centimeters. So I'm going to start off by making a chain of 17. And now that I have my chain, I'm going to block off that last chain and do a chain up of 3. That counts as a double crochet. From there, we're going to prepare for a double crochet and then insert our hook into that chain that we blocked off, or the 4th chain from our hook, with a double crochet. We're going to make our way all the way down our chain, putting 1 double crochet into each. And now that we've double crocheted down our chain, we're now going to slip stitch it into the base. So what we're going to do is count up the next 2 available stitches. So here's 1, and there's 2. We're going to slip stitch into there to close off this first row. And in order to work our way up to the next row, we're going to be slip stitching into the next 2 stitches. So there's 1, and then there's 2. From there, we're going to flip our work and then put 1 back loop double crochet into every stitch. So let's do the first one together. Prepare for a half double, insert your hook into that back loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. We're going to keep doing that, going all the way down. When we make our way down to the end, do a chain up of 3, flip our work, put 1 back loop double crochet into every stitch, and then connect it into the base the same way that we just did. And then I'll meet you guys back when we don't have any more stitches left to go into so that we can seam it all up together. All right, so we are back and we have just finished up going all the way around with our cuff. We don't have any more stitches left to go into. So what we're going to do from here is just seam it all up. It's going to be done the same way all the other seams are done. We're just going to get the first few started off with each other. And we just want to make sure that our work is flipped wrong side out so that all of our seams are on the same side. So let's get this started. From here, we're going to be inserting our hook into the first available stitch into the front panel, and then into the next available stitch into the back panel. Then we're going to single crochet those 2 loops together. And that's it. Go ahead and keep doing this, going all the way down. When we don't have any more stitches left to go into, do a chain up of 1 and cut. And then everything that we just did here for this sleeve, do the same thing on the other side, and then I'll meet you guys back. Alrighty guys, so we are back and we have just finished up going in with both of our sleeves, and now we're about to go in with our fabulous turtleneck. So how are we going to get that started? Is first go in with a row of single crochet around the entirety of our neck hole. So I'm just going to insert my hook into any one of the stitches, doesn't matter which one. And then I'm just going to talk you guys through it. We're going to alternate between 1 to 2 single crochets into every other side half double crochet. And then we are going to have just a handful of regular stitches to go into, and we're just going to be putting 1 single crochet into each of those. So go ahead and make your way all the way around, slip stitch into the chain up of 1 space, and then I'll meet you guys back. And now that we have made our way all the way around with our single crochet row, next we're going to go in with our turtleneck. So we're going to start off by making a chain the length that we want our turtleneck to be. And this is going to be a fluffy one, so it's going to fold up and over once. So I'm going to start off by making a chain of 20, and that's 6.5 inches or 17 centimeters. And now that we have our chain, we're going to block off that last chain and do a chain up of 3. That counts as a double crochet. We're going to prepare for a double crochet. And then into that chain that we blocked off, or the 4th chain from our hook, we're going to go in with a double and put 1 double crochet into every chain, making our way back down. Now that we've double crocheted all the way down our chain, we are now going to slip stitch into the second stitch into the base. This is going to be done exactly the same way as our cuff, so let's just do this as a really quick refresher. We're going to start off by counting out 1 and 2. We're going to slip stitch into there to close off this first row. Once we have that, we're going to be slip stitching into the next 2 stitches to work our way up to the next row. So there's 1, there is 2. From there, flip our work and then put 1 back loop double crochet into every stitch. We're just going to keep alternating, going back and forth like that, connecting it into the base the same way that we just did until we don't have any more stitches left, and then I'll meet you guys back so we can seam it up. And now that we have made our way all the way around with our turtleneck, we don't have any more stitches left, and we are going to seam it up together. This is going to be done the same exact way as all of our other seams. I just wanted to note that the seam actually isn't going to be along the inside, because once we fold it over, we want the seam to be hidden. So we're going to make sure that our work is placed right side out, and we're just going to seam it up along the outside, so that when we fold it over, it's nice and clean on the inside. So let's do the first one together. We're going to insert our hook into the first available stitch into the front panel, and then into the next available stitch into the back panel, and then single crochet them together. And keep doing this, going all the way down until we don't have any more stitches left. Do a chain above 1 and cut, and then I'll meet you guys back. And now that we've finished seaming up the turtleneck, we are actually all done. The last thing we're going to have to do is just weave in all of the ends. We have woven our ends, and this quick and easy sweater is all finished. When sketching out the sweater, we took a few hours to figure out the perfect way to construct it, and I think we did pretty good. It's easy to adjust for any size, a really fun workup, and super quick to make. There is a written pattern down below. Use offer code TCDDIY for discount off any $9.99 plus order. Enter this week's pattern giveaway by telling us what colors you'd make this in. Good luck to everyone who enters. Also, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up because believe it or not, it really helps. And be sure to share us on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook. Links are down below. Link to our Etsy page is down there too if you want to buy this piece or any other piece on the channel. And be sure to favorite the shop so you don't miss out on new patterns and exclusive deals. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.